Begin to see what happens and see how easy it is to just do a few little rituals. Don't do them all, just do 2 or 3 new things. And you know what happens? You'll get momentum. Because once you discipline yourself in one area of your life, you feel yourself doing it in other areas as well. And I always say something that my original teacher taught me. I always remind people there's always 2 pains in life. There's the pain of discipline or there's the pain of regret. And discipline weighs ounces, as my friend Jim Rohn taught me. Regret weighs tons. You don't have regret. So right now, what do you want to change? What's it really like? What are the rituals that got you there? That'll take a little homework. If you're not sure, ask the people around you. They'll tell you what your rituals are. What do I really want in depth? What are the rituals that'll get me there? And then get yourself to start a few of those actions and lock them in place.
The first thing I want you to know that success is not a destination. It's a journey. Think of success as a process. Let me illustrate it and explain it this way. If you go to college, you work hard, and 4 or 5 years, depending on what kind of degree you're working on. And
Woo! Good morning, dreamers. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day. Super excited. Today, we are going to be diving into the difference between the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Happy Tuesday. JoJo in the building. Shane and Talina. So great to see everybody. I'm excited. This is a powerful topic. Really getting into, I feel like, this time of the year to go ahead and really get the intention and clarity set back in check. So before we go ahead and get into today's topic, let's get a little bit of gratitude down below. As always, what is everybody grateful for coming into the Tuesday? So grateful to be alive. So grateful for God. So thankful to have this opportunity to be able to go ahead and grow, right? I'm telling you, 10, 20 years ago, even just thinking about trading, right? I had some trades in this morning. I was just thinking about, we used to have, 10, 20 years ago, have to have millions of dollars, have to be on Wall Street to even be able to participate in the foreign exchange markets, be able to participate trading right from an app on our phone. So just really thinking about having a lot of gratitude this morning for the opportunity, the times that we're living in, because while most are fearful, there's also the few percent that are taking wild advantage of these times that we have access to right here, right now. And I believe a big part of that comes from discipline along the way, along the journey. So as always, grateful for health, grateful to be alive. Today, we're on our 400th. It's pretty crazy. 400, let me see, day 405. 405 days locked in, so you guys can see it. 405. But this is the beauty of it, right? This is discipline. This is the exact reason, kind of why we're going over today's topic, because here's the deal. Just like Neno talked about on the call, there could be that one day where we don't show up, where we don't have the discipline, and you never know what opportunity could have actually happened that day. Shout out to Shane, Talina. Let's go. Day 433. This is unreal, but it's not a surprise how they've been able to manifest so many amazing things. Dream car, right? Been written on the board for years. They're driving it. No surprise. Like, I could go on for testimonies on here. You guys already know. So let's go ahead and get into it, right? Today, we're going to be diving into the topic of the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. And this is something that I really started to get in the mood and the groove of asking myself over the past couple of years. JoJo, day 88, congratulations. So I want to give everybody a visual, right? So we can really go ahead and put this into perspective on what it looks like letting go of discipline. And maybe you can relate, because I definitely can relate along my journey. So I want to ask everybody a question real quick. Ready? Here's the visual for today. Day 206, let's go. Here's the visual. Everybody drop down your favorite cookie down below. If you could just go ahead and snap your fingers and you could have your favorite cookie sitting right here on a plate, what would it be? Do you like chocolate chip, macadamia, strawberry? What's your favorite cookie? Because I want to give everybody a phenomenal analogy that we even got this week from our mentor. Oreo chocolate chip. Let's go. I'd love to see it. Melted chocolate chip. Okay, we got some good ones here. I love it. The money cookie. Facts. So check this out. Here's the visual. Ready? This is how a lot of our success looks like, right? How long, now you have your favorite cookie down below. How long does it take to go ahead and cook those cookies? How many minutes? We go ahead and throw them in the oven. How many minutes does it take to get these red velvet, these money cookies ready to go? Right? Let's say 10 to 15 minutes, right? Let's say right around 11 minutes, right? How long would it take our cookies to go ahead and cook 11 minutes if we put our cookie in for 1 minute and then we took it out for 2 hours? And then we put it back into the oven for a minute and then we took it back out for an hour, right? We're 2 minutes in and then we put it back in for a minute, took it back out for 3 hours. So over the course of the day, we can say, yeah, it got cooked for 11 minutes, but why didn't it get cooked properly? Woo! This lit such a light bulb in my mind when I heard it this week. I was like, yo, this is the one right here. This is so good. It's almost like the starting and stopping, right? Hitting the gas, and then we keep hitting the brakes, trying to get to our destination. It's the same thing with success. Same thing with this cookie. Such a great analogy. We put it in for 11 minutes, but here's the problem. It wasn't consistent. You see, we can do our journaling for a couple of days. We can get on Go Lives for a couple of days. We can show up for a couple of days. But if it's not consistent, what happens to that cookie? It's not going to get cooked the way it's meant and designed to go ahead and cook. The same thing goes with our success. And I figured this out along the way. And after enough time, it finally started to make sense. Right? So here's a couple things I want to get into today when we're talking about the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. And I want to kind of start with overflow. You know, we got on a call last night with Mina, and she was talking about overflow. And the example was so amazing. I've never heard it like this before. You know, how many times have we started to understand that the main reason why a lot of us feel drained is because we're not pouring enough into ourselves? Right? So how many of us know somebody that wakes up drained all the time? They're always in a negative mood. They're always frustrated. Well, a lot of the time that comes from saying things that we're going to do and not actually ending up doing it. And that leads to a whole cycle of doing habitual behaviors that lead to not a lot of productiveness. So when I started to really look at the root of this, it started to make sense. When we can take time to go ahead and fill up our cup, here's the deal. We don't even have to tilt our cup to pour into anybody else. This is how cool the analogy is. When we can go ahead and take time to fill up our cup and there's enough overflow in here, guess what happens? You don't even have to tip your cup. It just overflows into everybody else. That energy is going to overflow through the screen. It's going to overflow to the next person that you meet, the next person that you DM, the next person that sees your video. And this was such a great analogy because the only way that overflow really happens is with taking the time to get disciplined, to be consistent day in and day out, to go ahead and create a stretch of time to allow these miracles to go ahead and manifest. Same thing with building our body. We can show up for 3 days, but we're not going to notice the difference. But over time, it's going to absolutely be evident. So the first thing was asking that question. Asking that first question. How can we go ahead and get into overflow? It starts with getting a serious level of discipline. People have a fear of talking. I love this one. This was great. How many of us know somebody that has a fear of talking, that has a fear of getting in front of a video? Go ahead and drop a 1 down below if you know somebody, or maybe you might feel the fear yourself. I'm here to tell you, number one, you're not alone. I still get butterflies public speaking, but here's the best part about it. It took discipline to go ahead and beat on that craft. I learned something years ago. If you pay attention, most of the time, the person with the marker, they make the most money. A lot of time, the person at the front of the room, they make the most impact. A lot of time, the person at the front of the room, they're the ones that are able to go ahead and pour the value. And I was always the opposite. I was always the person in the back of the room, hiding, tucking myself in a corner. And then I finally started to see, even me, I got to see in public. It's funny enough, I got to see in public speaking in college as I go back and look at it. But I started to understand a couple of different things. I could have the pain of regret, not ever knowing what my voice could do, not ever knowing what impact we could go ahead and leave. Drop a 5 down below if you guys have ever put out a message and somebody hit you like, wow, I needed that for today. Thank you for that blessing. Thank you for that knowledge. Thank you for that, for those words of wisdom, because I don't know what it was, but that just hit right on the perfect timing today. You guys have been there before. You've got that message from a piece of content that you put out. How good does that feel to go ahead and receive that? That became addicting to me. I started to realize we can get 1,000 negative comments, but that one message, you see, we can't be the world to everybody. We can't be the world to everybody, but we can change the world for somebody. Woo! Started to look at life completely different the second that I ever heard that. Because that's the truth. You're not going to be able to impact everybody, but you can be somebody's world. So realize that your message, your story, your impact is more powerful than a lot of us will ever know. And I would never know my impact if I kept giving excuses. What if so-and-so comments on my posts? What happens if my family doesn't believe in me? What happens if all these people just keep giving me negativity? Well, the truth was, that's inevitable. When we step out against the grain, there's going to be haters. There's going to be people that go ahead and push against you. But when you know who you are, when you know your authenticity, when you know where you're going, it doesn't matter what anybody says. And we're able to go ahead and hold this discipline for a long period of time. Because we've let go of addiction to other people's approval. We've let go of negative opinions. And that's what they say. Accepting somebody else's opinion is one of the most expensive things that any of us can own. And that changed the game for me. So when it comes to speaking, here's the deal. Here's what I learned. I went from having a fear of speaking to having a fear of not speaking, to having a fear of not having a platform to put out my voice, to having a fear of not being able to impact somebody else's life. That became my new fear. And I started to realize that every day that we wake up, we have a voice. You see, there was a day and time where all of us can probably go back and think about where in a matter of a moment, life was completely different. In a matter of a moment, a drastic change shifted. And maybe, hopefully, we realize how precious life and how precious time really is. Well, for me, that happened. If you look at it, I broke my collarbone, right? I have a plate and 6 screws up here. Those of you that don't know, right? Got a plate and 6 screws. So in a matter of a day, my whole life changed. I'm thinking I'm going to go really pursue sports, be an athlete, and all of a sudden, boom, God took it. So now the question becomes, who do you become when somebody strips your most dominant ability? Who do you become without being an athlete? How to develop my mind, how to develop a different level of discipline that I didn't even know was there. But I started to realize that this is a part of my story. This is a part of my message. This is a test that's going to be a part of my testimony. And every single one of you have these things. That's the beauty of it. You see, all of us have scars. Not a wound. We have scars. What does that mean? Scars that have healed up. There's lessons that we've been able to learn going through these experiences that give us a different perspective in life. And with a different perspective, this is why they say when we change the way we see things change. I never thought I would be 400 days consistent journaling. I hated journaling at the beginning. If you want me to be honest, I thought it was the biggest joke. I thought reading was pointless. Why are some of our mentors taking so much time to read? Why are they taking time to journal? Why are they going out grounding? I thought this stuff was ridiculous. For being real, I thought it was mumbo jumbo until I started to really get around greatness and study it and realize that success leaves clues. And I started to develop a serious level of discipline. Why? Because of experience, because of looking things from a different perspective, because going through life, because of gaining different value from others. So here's a couple ways to go ahead and really get self-discipline. Now I want to give you tactical advice. It's one thing to just talk about it, but I want to give everybody tactical advice that we can apply right here, right now, getting off of this call, okay? First things first, establishing a self-care routine. This is huge, huge. Taking care of ourselves is everything. We only get one body. We only get one temple. And if we don't take care of it, here's the deal. I already know for a fact discipline is going to be very, very difficult. It's hard to do anything when we don't feel good, right? But once we can start making the shift, things can start to go ahead and get in line. So here's 3 ways to go ahead and establish a self-care routine. 3 things. Number 1 is going to be exercise. You want to develop discipline in every area of your life? I believe one of the easiest ways, one of the simplest ways we can start by doing that is by hitting the gym. It doesn't even have to be the gym. It can be any exercise. You don't have to be paying for a gym membership. We can start out with just exercise. If you have a community gym, great. If you're paying for a membership, even better. If you just have your house and some weights, that's all we need to start. We don't need anything extravagant. And I love how I've been seeing almost everybody diving into this fitness journey, right? Cynthia's absolutely been on it. I love to see it. Her brother Kevin is 17 days straight, already dropping pounds. He's getting value about the different foods that we can eat, the different vitamins that we can go ahead and gain by eating certain foods. You see, now we're starting to change what we study. Now we're starting to change what we listen to. We're starting to change the information that's coming in. And now the real shift starts to begin. Tony Robbins talks about how motion causes emotion. So let's just think about this for a second. If somebody, drop a 3 down below. If you know somebody that's stagnant, somebody that might seem like they're in a rut, somebody that might seem like they're sitting in the darkness right now, one of the easiest ways that anybody can go ahead and get up and get out of that state, because I know a lot of people right now that are sitting like that. I was like that over some days of this summer, if we're being truthful, right? I'm not a robot. I'm not perfect. I feel things too. And one of the easiest ways that we can all start to get out of that is by exercise. Because if you think about this, that's water that's sitting. If this sits for long enough, guess what it's going to do? It's going to get stagnant. It's going to get moldy. It's going to get pretty stinky. Well, the same thing happens with our bodies. The same thing happens with our human brain. When we sit too long, when we're stagnant for too long, guess what happens? We get moldy, right? We turn into a form that is not even ourselves. But running water is always clean. So that's number one. Exercise, moving, right? Getting endorphins out. How many of us have ever went to the gym, we didn't feel like it, and you get out, you feel so much better? Now, guess what we're able to do? We gave ourselves a command and we follow through, and that ripples into everything. Now we say we're going to get on and go live, we get on. We call our mentor. We say we're going to make a video, we go out and we do it. This is called the domino effect, where one activity can have a domino effect on so many other things. Number one is exercise. Number two, the second self-care routine is going to be to relax. Yes, I said it, relax. There's so much noise. There's so much going on today. I know how important it is every day to sit and have some time for yourself. Sit and have some time to just sit and talk with yourself and God. Yourself, if you don't believe in God, your creator, whoever that may be. But I can tell you wholeheartedly, our dreams, our success, our mindset deserves some time with ourselves. Maybe listening to binaural beats, maybe listen to frequency, maybe listen to lo-fi early in the morning, late at night before we go to bed, as we go ahead and journal our day. We go ahead and do our evaluation to go ahead and take some time to relax. Maybe sitting in a nice bath, listening to some audios at nighttime with some Epsom salts. I don't know what your relax is. Maybe that's taking a walk in nature. That's one of my things. I love to take a good 15-minute walk in nature almost every day. I'll find some time in the day to go out and make it happen, because I know I need some time for me. I need some time to walk and talk with God. Right? Love it. Awesome. Number 3, milk baths. Absolutely. Right? Whatever your thing is, whatever gets you feeling good, go ahead and do that. Right? Maybe gardening. I don't know what that is. It's going to be different for everybody. But do something that helps relax you. I'm telling you, this is key. Okay, number 3 is going to be eating clean. Cold showers, love it. Third key is going to be eating clean. Adding this into the self routine is going to change the game. For those of you that eat meat all the time, think about this for a second. During Thanksgiving, how many of us always get the itis right after we eat? We're always ready to go to sleep. We're always ready to go ahead and knock out. Why is that? A lot of the time, that happens because meat, believe it or not, induces certain chemicals that make us feel sleepy. Look at that. JoJo's been going to acupuncture. I love it. I've seen Adam's been doing float spas. I didn't even know float spas existed till he actually went out and did it. Now I got to look above my city. Now I got to go get in there for myself. I can't wait. Honestly, I'm excited. But the next part is going to be eating clean, right? If you don't know, meat that we eat sits in our body for months at a time to go ahead and digest. Depending on our body, depending on how much meat that we're eating, it takes weeks to months to digest. You know how long it takes fruit to digest? How long it takes greens and juices to digest? Minutes to hours. And many people don't realize this. If you're eating an animal, when that animal was killed, guess what? Animals have chemicals too. So when that I'm getting real and raw today because this is the truth. People need to know this, right? When that animal was slaughtered, there was fear chemicals that literally went into the bloodstream. And guess what? When we go ahead and eat meat, guess what we're eating? Dead fear. Dead fear. That sounds insane, but there's a reason why I'm telling you. There's a reason why some of these things start to make sense. If you look at how closely eating meat is linked to cancer, you'd probably think twice the next time you went out and ate pork. If you don't believe me, go ahead and watch What the Health, and you'll see for yourself. So if you really want to feel alive, if you want to thrive, number one, it starts with eating alkaline and drinking alkaline foods and liquids. You see, everything that we eat or drink is either alkaline or it's acidic. Something that's alkaline is anything that's a whole food, right? Beans, rice, anything that comes from the earth. Something that is acidic is almost anything that's packaged, anything that we throw in a microwave. I used to throw everything in the microwave, being real, until I started to realize this. So the power of eating clean, right? If you want to feel alive, it takes eating lively foods. One of the best things that we can eat in the morning is blueberries. You want some brain food? You want to feel alive in the morning? I've never drank coffee. Maybe had coffee 3 times in my life. Seriously. People ask me all the time, D, how are you so energized? How you wake up so fired up? Well, here's the deal. Our body is 70% water, so it's not looking for coffee to get fired up, to get a caffeine burst and then go back to sleep. It's looking, believe it or not, for H2O. But this comes from understanding the power of eating clean, right? You want to boost your memory? Blueberries, once again, brain food. Learning about whole foods, learning about super foods, cucumbers, superfoods, sweet potatoes, superfoods, bananas on a daily basis for potassium and iron. All of these things is crucial to start really understanding at a deeper level, okay? Next thing I want to talk about, when it comes to developing discipline, okay, I've done this live video for over 2 years straight. Really haven't missed a day during the week. In fact, I used to do it 7 days a week till I realized that was insane. Had to cut it back on the weekends. But I want to allow you guys to go ahead and think about something. What do you think one of the biggest reasons are that some people don't like to speak? Some people struggle with speaking on camera. Some people struggle with public speaking. You know what the biggest reason why most people don't like it is? It's actually kind of interesting. Here's the reason. Most people, we don't like our voice. We don't like hearing our own voice. And it's interesting enough, I felt the same way for a long time. Lady Boss Nikki already knows. But when we can start to realize that most of the time, the only thing that's limiting us has to do with right here, these 6 inches. Isn't that funny? So the way we really start practicing that is by just changing the way we see things. So many of us are so stuck inside of our own head, not knowing how many people are looking for the message that we have. It took me a long time to realize because I used to do this. I used to literally go on Google, find a line quote, and just go ahead and post that. That was it. That was my value for the day until I started to realize that we have a voice. We can go ahead and impact people with our story, and they're probably waiting to hear because they're probably going through something very similar to be able to teach the story from the scar. What was the lesson? What were we able to learn from the situation that we went through, from this trial, from this tribulation? Okay. Here's the next part I want to talk about, getting discipline, right? Getting self-discipline. The next piece, I've only got 2 more for you. Ready? Is practicing self-compassion. If you really want to develop a sickening discipline, because I would rather have the pain of discipline than the pain of regret. The regret, I'm going to give you guys a story towards the end, but here's the thing I want you guys to think about. When you practice self-compassion, nobody else is going to treat you better than you. That's just being honest. Happiness and confidence. Let me ask you this. Happiness and confidence, is this an external job or is this an internal job? Let me ask you that. Does happiness and confidence come from the inside or does it come from the outside, from the news, from other people, from achievements? Let me know. Which one do you think? Confidence, happiness comes from the inside, right? Knowing how powerful that we already are, giving ourselves self-love. You see, for a lot of us, it took me a long time to realize that what we see is nothing but a reflection of what we see ourselves as. You see, other people see us as we see ourselves. So if we see ourselves as a person with no value, if we see ourselves with a person not being able to go out and impact others, other people can feel that. They can feel that ripple through the screen. But the moment that we switch that and start to realize we do have a story, we do have impact that we can make, we do have people that have been waiting to hear what it is that we have to offer, things start to change. And guess what? The little wins is literally what ends up creating the bigger picture, the little disciplines. So you know what? Today I'm going to hit the gym. You know what? Today I'm cutting out some of the junk food. You know what? Today I'm going to show up for myself. And the discipline of just laying that brick as best as we can lay today, now we have the confidence to say, you know what? If we did it yesterday, we can go ahead and do it again today. But you know what? Let me go ahead and, just like Ed Milet, he says the power of one more. He said, you know what? If I went in the gym yesterday, I did 10 push-ups. Guess what? I'm going to go in the gym today, and I'm going to get to 10. I say, I don't care what I'm getting out one more. And just taking that ideology of the power of one more can change everything. What if we did just one more in every area of our life? One more call, one more rep, one more gratitude message. Yes, this is one thing to talk about. It's another thing to do it. But I'm telling you, even for myself, this is something that I tell myself every single day, something I'm working on. When I go into the gym, it took me a long time to realize, but to build, the only way to build is to be able to break down, is to be able to run at the pain. It's funny how that works, right? Think about it. In order for us to grow today, we have to run at the pain. We're going to get on the treadmill. It's going to hurt running. Guess what? That fat's going to be screaming. But as time goes by, it's going to melt off. So that pain leads to achievement. So think about this. What is the pain of the disciplines that we're going through right now that we're seeing as just pain, when in reality, this is leading us towards the growth? It seems like pain initially. But you know what they say? Pain is just weakness leaving the body. Woo! Let that sink in. Pain is just weakness leaving the body. So the next time we think about the word discipline, discipline with our body, discipline with our finances, discipline with giving value to society, discipline with our connection with our creator, it might seem painful to go ahead and do this on a daily basis, but I'm telling you, this pain is leading towards greatness. So the last piece to go ahead and put the bow tie on today's topic is right here. There's two types of people for the most part. You ready? Two types of people. Number one, wakes up and rehearses the past. Literally replaying all of the old negative things that's happened, everything that went wrong, all the things that didn't work out in our life. And the person that replays the past, guess what? They're the type of person that what ifs the future. Write this down. This is one of the main pieces of the whole training. The person that replays the past, what ifs, the person that replays the past is always going to give excuses coming into the future. They're always going to say, what if? What if I would have went out and made that decision? What if I would have went out and had the confidence to go out and do the thing I was scared to do? What if I would have went out and actually took care of my body to see what I could really go out and become? What if I really would have showed up for myself? That's person number one. Now let me show you person number two. Person number two, they rehearse the future. And they don't say, what if? You know what they say? They don't say, what if? They say, I wonder. I wonder what life looks like when I step into the highest version of myself. I wonder life looks like when I really treat my body like a temple. I wonder what life looks like when I build this phenomenal connection with my creator. I wonder what life looks like when I'm sitting on stage and my family's sitting out in the crowd and they're applauding me and everybody's giving me this phenomenal standing ovation for all the trials and tribulations they've been able to watch me progress and grow through. You feel your body tingling. You feel the lightness right now. This is the difference between somebody who's living in regret always talking about what if, and someone that's ready to go ahead and jump into the pain of discipline and ask themselves, I wonder. There's always going to be two types of people, someone that's going to have the pain of regret or the pain of discipline. And to wrap this question up for today, which one do you choose? Are you ready to choose the pain of regret or the pain of discipline? And the moment that we really make that decision, life moves out of our way. So many things that we were afraid of doing, so many steps that we were nervous to go ahead and take. We say, you know what? Today's the day. I'm ready to go ahead and see my grace. I'm ready to go ahead and tap into what's inside. And if that's you, drop a 777 down below. Smash that like button if you guys got any value from today, because I'm here to tell you I am right there with you. There's never been a better time than to step in the highest version right here, right now. The next 12 to 18 months is going to get very serious. It's going to be a dark winter for a lot of people. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but today, literally towards the nighttime, towards about midnight, we're about to have a hurricane. You can see it. It's cooking up. It looks really crazy out here. We're about to have a hurricane literally coming today. And my analogy is this. Those that fail to prepare are going to get wiped out by the storm. But you see, what we had to do today, if you guys want to look, we had to actually put all the chairs inside, all of the main big things inside. We had to put the birds away. We had to put everything away because we were getting prepared for the storms that are about to come in a couple hours. And those that aren't prepared, everything is going to get blown away. So there's a reason why I'm talking about this topic right now, because I understand that those that are disciplined during these times, right here, 2023, coming into this fourth quarter, are going to be set up for greatness coming into the future. And I don't want anybody to go in and be in a position to say, you know what, D, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you let me know? Because I want everybody to go ahead and be on this ship so we can all take advantage of these rising tides, so all our ships go ahead and rise collectively. So dreamers, let's go out and have a phenomenal rest of the month. Remember, we can be, do, and have anything we can hold in our mind. We can hold it right here in our hand. I love you guys. Let's go out and turn these dreams into reality. Let's get to work. It's game time. Let's go.